Good Sunday evening, everybody. Meteorologist Nick Kelly checking in. We saw quite a burst of mild temperatures return across the Ozarks today to wrap up the weekend. That's because of a good southeasterly wind, but that strong wind out of the south is working with dry air to get the early evening going, especially in the northeastern Ozarks. That's where we find some red flag warnings still in place until 7 o'clock this evening, but these wind gusts that we saw kick in throughout the day will get even stronger from this evening until 1 o'clock Monday afternoon. In between 7 o'clock this evening and 1 o'clock Monday afternoon, that is when the wind advisory for the entire Ozarks will be kicking into gear ahead of our approaching storm system. And ahead of its approach, we also saw quite a bit of cloud cover pick up for a good portion of the day, but we did see some breaks in the clouds, so that returning sunshine did help temperatures at least push back into the generally upper 50s to some lower 60s this afternoon. But now is a waiting game to see when our first go at rain chances will work out of southeast Kansas and northeast Oklahoma as that storm system. The two cold fronts in particular, which I'll highlight for you here, this one prompting a severe thunderstorm watch just ahead of it across central, southwestern Kansas, western Oklahoma, and northwestern Texas. And this cold front west of Denver and up into the Pacific Northwest, that's going to make sure we turn much colder behind the storm system, but briefly so by Tuesday and maybe even the Wednesday morning as well. Now, as far as the wind gusts go with the storm system, they are still going to be cranking into gear once we get past 6 or 7 o'clock this evening. In fact, by 10 o'clock, I wouldn't be shocked if we had gusts anywhere between 30 and 45 miles per hour. And these are gusts that will still stay up there through the overnight hours and toward your morning drive on Monday. So be mindful of that if you are going to be working across any west to east roads across the area. But once we get into Monday afternoon, we're going to see these wind gusts really push off toward eastern Missouri. We'll still have some gusty winds anywhere from, let's say 10 to 25 miles per hour through Monday afternoon. But look at what happens. Even though our wind gusts will be quite a bit lower compared to what we see on Monday, that westerly breeze and northwesterly breeze will come in on Tuesday, and that's going to quickly bring in some colder air. Before we get to those temperatures, though, let's see how Futurecast plays out. I still think we could get a chance to see some scattered showers, mainly west of 65 during the evening hours. And this doesn't look particularly strong as they come out of Kansas and Oklahoma. So we'll just say scattered showers with this burst of activity, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, but nothing too out of hand. Once we get past the overnight hours and by dawn, we are going to see a better plume of moisture still come in. And look at what it does. Right along and mainly east of the US 65 corridor. That is going to be a stout area of rain and thunderstorms. Some with moderate to heavy rainfall, and I can't rule out some gusty winds if we see anything strong in terms of embedded storms within that big expected mass of rain. By 4 o'clock Monday afternoon, we think the bulk of these rain chances will shift into the eastern half of the Ozarks. With that said, we got to watch the second cold front as it comes in from the west by Monday evening. It could try to spark a few more scattered showers and maybe a couple of thunderstorms too. If this can come to fruition, though, I'm not expecting anything severe. I think that activity is done between 10 o'clock Monday night and midnight going into Tuesday. Maybe a little break in the cloud cover during the late evening hours on Monday, but then the backside of the system has to pass on through. That's going to leave a lot of us with quite a bit of cloud cover for Tuesday before we see these skies finally break apart and brighten up again as we head through the rest of the week. Now, in terms of how much rain we're expecting, I think this is a pretty decent approximation of where the heaviest of the rainfall should wind up. Along and southeast of Interstate 44, but there could still be some areas from about Monette, Rogers, Springfield, Camdenton, Lake of the Ozarks, Rolla, south and east, where you could see 3/4 of an inch to up to 2 inches of rain on average with some locally higher amounts. And given how fast this will accumulate, can't rule out some localized flooding, especially in the southeastern Ozarks. So we'll be watching out for that carefully throughout the day, Monday, and into Monday night. And then the farther northwest you go, back near Stockton Lake, the amounts will drop off, but everybody will at least get some rain out of the storm system before it moves on. Lows in the lower 50s tonight, 51 in Springfield, 53 in Harrison, with a good southeast breeze sustained at 15 to 30, but gusts as high as 45 miles per hour. And then tomorrow, I think the best we could do is afternoon highs trying to push back into the upper 50s. Most spots around 59 degrees. You can see hour by hour temperatures has everybody starting in the 50s, many of the Missouri Ozarks in the lower 50s, and we just won't see a big warm up through the day on Monday. Upper 50s to some spots near 60 by the end of the day on Monday. And then as the colder air comes in, look at what it does with our numbers here. They're going to drop back into the lower to middle 30s Tuesday morning, with highs only rebounding into the mid 40s to maybe some near 50 by Tuesday afternoon, early Tuesday evening in the southern Ozarks. And I think the coldest of this cold snap comes Wednesday morning, with these numbers looking, unfortunately, pretty reasonable. This could be a quick hard freeze with many spots in the middle to upper 20s. I'm thinking Springfield starts at 28 Wednesday morning, but then our air mass begins to moderate. 53 Wednesday, back in the 60s with plenty of sunshine Thursday, and quickly to 73 as we start the Easter holiday weekend. I do want to show you the upper level setup taking you through the rest of the week. We will see that quick rebound in temperatures as upper level ridging works in from mid to late week, but once we go deeper into the Easter holiday weekend and into early next week, not only will a developing storm system on top of us give us possibly some isolated storms late in the day Easter Sunday, the upper level low to our south and west. I think that's going to give us additional rain chances early next week. In the short term, though, we'll focus on our rain and thunderstorm chances for Monday first, keeping all of us mainly in the upper 50s. Then we're quiet through the rest of the week until we see maybe some isolated storms Easter Sunday. Cold snap in the middle of the week, but once we get past a cold Wednesday morning, again, 53 Wednesday, then back in the 60s and 70s by the coming weekend.